Well, Heidi and Craig, the FBI telling Pix 11 News that approximately 10 flights were the victims of a terror threat today. All of the threats taking place via a phone call. The first, an inbound flight via Air France from Paris.
You see the police, you see the federal agent. Woo!
Not the welcome to New York City moment that passengers aboard Air France Flight 22 were expecting upon arrival into John F. Kennedy Airport.
What happened now, as usual?
That was Bob Shurek's reaction after the Paris to New York City flight had to park itself quite a distance away from the terminal upon landing.
Well, it was a pretty normal flight, and then it was a bit scary, I guess. The plane stopped on the runway when we landed, and they said there was a security issue.
The issue that Kelsey Strait from Brooklyn and the other passengers on board experienced was a chemical threat that was phoned in, according to the FBI. First responders surrounded the plane upon arrival, with some workers donning hazmat suits.
I was scared. You know, it's pretty clear that when the plane isn't allowed to come to the terminal, something's quite serious is going on.
The phone threat was viewed as serious enough that it warranted the U.S. Air Force to scramble 2 fighter jets to intercept the plane and provide a military escort. Their presence went undetected by passengers.
I do not see any U.S. Air Force plane around the plane. Nothing.
This passenger sharing that he found out of the security threat not by any member of the crew, but through social media.
They didn't announce anything. Jumped on my phone, jumped on Twitter. Saw it before they even announced anything, showed it to a flight attendant. He's like, okay, so now you know.
The passengers were held on the tarmac for more than an hour before they were cleared. They were transferred to the terminal via buses, and their luggage followed closely behind. The FAA tells Pix 11 News that flight operations at JFK were not interrupted. This as a Saudi Arabian Airlines flight a few hundred yards away from the Air France flight, and could be seen on the right of your screen, was also being checked out after a threat, according to reports. Bob Shurek, who spoke earlier, said that threats on a holiday weekend should not come as a surprise.
Being Memorial Day, big crowds, they're always telling us about that. Beware.
Yeah, travel in the post 9/11 era has always been a concern for law enforcement, especially around federal holidays. Again, the FBI stating that as many as 10 flights may have been impacted. They are, of course, investigating this situation. Reporting live from JFK, Mario Diaz, Pix 11 News.
But Mario, let me just ask you, everything at the airports right now, there's an all clear. People can go back and forth. The threat is now lifted.
Yeah, Heidi, people have been able to travel in and out of the airport without any issues for several hours now. And the FAA again stating to Pix 11 News today that this had no impact on flight operations here at JFK. Heidi.
All right.